Greetings, beloveds. This is Amy Karen Johnson, the Earth Channel, here with you today with another weekly energy report using the human design system combined with sidereal zodiac, as I do, which is a little unique. Feel free to go back and look at some of my other videos if you'd like a little more description on how it is that I do that. It does also apply to your own human design chart. So if you would like to run your own chart or that of anyone else, you can go to humandesignamerica.com/chart and use noon as birth time if you're not sure. It'll give you a good starting place. This week again, as I did 2 weeks ago, I am taking a break from being on camera and just doing a voice recording. I got at least one piece of good feedback last time I did this, that it was my best video yet. So I will just give you the basics on the particular channel I want to focus on this week, which is the 2750. And then we will get to the message from Mother Earth, Gaia. So the 2750 is a channel created by the 27th gate in the sacral center, which in the chart I will show you for the week is a red square. Anytime you have the full channel defined by red, black, or combination of those, it will define the centers at either end as well. And if the centers are not defined or open, they will be white. And the 50th gate is in the what human design calls the splenic center. I prefer to refer to it as the liver center. I believe it's a little more appropriate for the themes of that center. That liver center, the brown triangle on the left, correlates to the right side of the body, the slightly more masculine side, as opposed to the emotional side on the right of the chart, but corresponding to the left side of the body. It has to do with our body's defense, as well as understanding what's good for us, especially when it's defined or colored in brown. When it's open, sometimes people can tend to hold on to what is not good for them until they mature and they get that experience of what it is to have a defined spleen, or just through the transits experience more of what that is. The sacral center is the most powerful motor in the body, as I have said before. And this channel speaks to nourishment, especially gate 27. And the I Ching calls the 50th gate, or hexagram, where this gate comes from, the cauldron. The 27th gate has to do with, well, let me speak to the whole channel first, actually, because, there are some great things already in the human design lexicon and philosophy that do definitely apply to this. It's like the channel of a parent, or that parental energy, who does what is needed to nourish a child. And there's sort of an image of the kitchen or cooking for them as one of those main things that is what a parent needs to do, at least in early life, for a child. There is a ritual quality to it, and that ritual part of it, that habitual part of it, has more to do with gate 50. The cooking sort of part of it has a little bit more, and the nourishing part of it has a little bit more to do with gate 27. But with both of them, when the lower expression of these two gates and this channel comes when the parent acts mindlessly in habit with their own preferences and doesn't really pay attention to some of the more specific needs of the child. And not to criticize, sometimes the parent can only do so much, and if that's the case for you and you're a parent, I don't want to make you feel guilty for that at all. You do what you can for your child, and that is the best you can do. That's all anyone can do. And it is very much needed, and you deserve praise for doing that much. But this is more along the lines of preferences and just sort of mindlessly getting into a habit of something just because it's what that person likes. And this doesn't have to be a parent, of course. It can be anyone, a coworker, a friend, who just does something for you, gives you something, and expects you to like it because they gave it to you. It's without, that lower expression of this channel is without much concern for what the other person actually wants or needs. The higher expression, of course, is quite beautiful. It has to do with actually listening and really getting to know the person. Not only what that person says, but really the true needs of that person, and providing them with that which nourishes them, that which provides balance, that which is mindful. And so it's a wonderful thing if you can get into that higher expression. I wanted to also mention that when the sacral center is open or undefined, or if it's white in your chart or another person's chart, sometimes you can not know when enough is enough, but I want to give credit where credit is due here, because I don't always adhere to some of the philosophies in human design. They are a little too critical sometimes, in my opinion. And I'm not even going to say the 2 words that they typically apply to a lot of these open centers, or even hanging gates that don't create a full channel. When you don't have the sacral center defined, when it's white in a chart, you actually have a lot better perspective in a lot of ways. You're not blinded by all the energy produced by that center. Like I said, it's the most powerful motor center in the body. And yet, it being defined, we all do need energy at some point. And, if you're ever with anyone else, chances are you're going to either define that center together, or it will be defined in that other person if you don't have it defined. So you don't have to worry about it, about not having energy. You're going to find it somewhere. But you should appreciate the fact that you have that clearer vision if that center is open. There is a gift to all of these sides of things, open and defined. When the splenic or liver center is defined, colored in brown, you have a really consistent access to intuition and timing. And so that's the gift there as well. I haven't mentioned that yet. And one of the reasons I've decided to make these videos is to show you how you can access these energies even when they are not defined. You can access them through meditation. You can access them through awareness, consciousness, contemplating them, focusing on these different gates, these different centers, being around people who might have them defined. But if you want to be able to access them anytime on your own, there are some more esoteric ways to go about that. Now, I know a lot of people have trouble with meditation, and I believe that Gaia is going to get into that today, so I'm not going to get into it too much before I connect with her. But basically, meditation can be fun, and there are a lot of different ways to do it. You don't have to think of it or call it even meditation. It's just a way of getting into introspection and quieting the mind, quieting the programs that we have been exposed to in our younger years and even as an adult sometimes, that we have adopted as truth or reality. And there comes a time when we need to question those, usually. Not necessarily throw them out altogether, but to just question how they are applied, how they are really meant to function in the world. There is a higher expression to all of these things, like I said before. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect with Gaia, and that's one of the reasons I always invite you to do so with me, is that channeling like this, like I do, connecting with Gaia, Mother Earth, other entities, like especially in the higher dimensions, ones that you know to be benevolent, angels even, is one of the best, it's really my favorite way, honestly, that's why I do this, to get into that more contemplative or meditational state. So if you'd like to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths with me, we'll do that. So Gaia would like to illustrate for you the purpose of meditation, channeling, connecting with your higher self, with your guides, and even beyond that, connecting with other people on a deeper level. As we pursue our different desires in life, different activities, habits, rituals, pastimes, hobbies, etc., we can sometimes lose sight of why we started doing those things in the first place. And so that's when it's a great time to really connect. Connect with your higher self. And if you struggle with connecting with another person directly in the physical, with speech, however you might try to connect with them, if that's just not working, one great thing to do is to connect your higher self to their higher self. And this is another type of meditation. It's one that Amy in particular greatly enjoys, perhaps more than what you might typically think of as meditation. And if you do that, and you do it with love, you may be surprised to find that afterward, your relationship and your interaction with that other person in the physical is much better. So this is very effective to do, and we encourage you to try it. Especially in this day and age when we are distracted by so many things in the physical going on out there, that we ourselves, even if we are asked, may not know what we truly want or need. And so connecting with another person's higher self helps you to know and understand better what they actually do need, especially when they can't tell you themselves. Last week, Amy spoke about diversity. That diversity is expressed in many ways through this system of human design as it was channeled in the 80s, overlaying the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching, which did not come from that particular channeling, but from Lao Tzu, much longer before that, overlaid with the zodiac. Each of those 64 hexagrams creating a gate. And those gates being located within centers, which are loosely akin to chakras. And so the more you embrace the diversity on me, the earth, in Mother Nature, in humankind, and even in yourself, recognizing that you have many aspects to yourself that you may not have really seen before, the more you can access these different energies as needed. And Amy mentioned also in a previous video that Lao Tzu was inspired to create the I Ching and these 64 hexagrams by beings in the Antares system. And I, Mother Earth, Gaia, have created an alliance with the Antares system as well as Arcturus. There is a relationship there as well, even though physically they may not appear to be that close together in the sky. There is absolutely a connection between them. And while Antares has not previously participated that much in what has occurred here on Earth, they are seeing a window of opportunity now where they can contribute more effectively and help us. Now that humankind is finally becoming ready to see past duality, the dance of the yin and the yang, as you can see in the 64 hexagrams, to the unity within, to the unity beyond those dualistic sides of things. And so we invite you to connect with this alliance. And it may, as you connect, open your eyes to more of those aspects within yourself. And yes, sometimes it takes strength to discover new things within yourself. Sometimes you may at first look at them and think that they are bad, shameful perhaps. And that may be why you didn't look at them before. But as Amy said earlier in this video, there is a higher expression to everything. And so those facets within yourself that you begin to discover may just be diamonds in the rough. They just need a little polishing. For you to see the beauty within them. And once you have done that, once you have started to embrace more of the diversity within yourself, then you will be able to truly appreciate the diversity outside yourself as well. The I Ching is also very closely connected to the cycles of nature. Amy mentioned in a previous video that she has been learning about the nakshatras in Vedic astrology, the 27 sub-signs, you could call them, of the zodiac, breaking those down into smaller pieces than just the 12 signs. And they each have an element, but it's only one of 3 elements: air, fire, and water, not earth. And so in future videos, Amy is going to elaborate on how these nakshatras can be explored in conjunction with the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching to really help ground those truths here into the physical. And by doing so, we can get into that flow of nature's cycles and really experience the bounty that is there to nourish us. I, Mother Earth, Gaia, know what you need to be nourished. I have it all right here for you if you will only open to it and work with it. And I have already grounded many of these cosmic energies from Arcturus, from Antares, from many other stars and systems and planets. And so by connecting with me and with this alliance, there is so much to be gained. If only you will begin to cultivate the strength to embrace those within yourself. So just to clarify, the hexagrams stay in the same place, the gates stay in the same place as they were originally channeled, with the 8 gates of the center diamond, heart, aligning with the pagan holidays, the solstices, the equinoxes, while the 12 signs of the zodiac, as well as the 27 nakshatras, follow a precession of the equinoxes, caused by the very slight and slow wobble of the earth. And so while the Western astrologers may say that the 27th gate is in Taurus right now, in sidereal astrology we know that it is actually aligned with the constellation of Aries. And you can see this in the night sky right now. Uranus is also in the constellation of Aries right now, if you actually can find it in the sky. And so as those signs precess, the gates aligned with them will slowly change over time. Maybe not very much over one generation or one lifetime even, but about 1 degree every 70 years. And so as those signs precess, you will begin to see how over a single lifetime, that gate that aligns with that area helps ground those energies into the earth, into our physical bodies, into our physical realm. And so by finding that which nourishes each one of us at the time that we are focused upon, that theme of that 27th gate, we ground the energies of Aries, which may have previously been considered to be a sign of war, of aggression. But there is also energy needed to prepare food, to cook. And that is the appropriate application of that Aries energy to reach that higher expression. So as you connect, meditate, contemplate, whatever practice appeals to you, keep an eye out for that higher expression, the gift. And be gentle with yourself. It really does no good to get down on yourself for anything. You can decide if you want to change the way you move forward in life, but there is always a gift to be found from experience, from the path we have tread in the past. Deep breath, let it go. And quickly, one other brief meditation technique that Amy really likes and gets a lot out of is not just counting the breaths, but counting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Especially when she's walking, that's usually all she gets in. And then out, counting down 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And perhaps challenging yourself just to breathe a little more deeply and let it all go, helping you not to get stuck in any one place, letting that breath circulate throughout your body. So we wanted to share that with you as one more possible way for you to calm your mind, open your heart. When you breathe deeply, your lungs hug your heart, and that's something we all need. Deep breath, let it go. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste, beloveds. Thank you for watching, subscribing, liking, sharing, and clicking the bell button to be notified when the new weekly message comes out.